Gamescom just showed us horror games with graphics so realistic. You shouldn't be watching this alone. Seriously, some of these titles look like real life. Shadows, textures, even the environments. I'm Midnight, and here's the top 15 ultra-realistic horror games releasing soon.
Project Spectrum. Gameplay in Project Spectrum flips expectations. This isn't your typical shooter. It's a tense PvPvE experience, where you're either an elite operator or a monster in disguise. As an operator, you lead agents into Ember zones, tactically coordinating exploration, crafting improvised tools, and managing a sanity meter that's as fragile as your bullets. But if that meter breaks, you might wake up hunting your own squad as an executioner, teleporting, climbing walls, and tearing through the fight from the other side. It's wild and unpredictable. Now, story-wise, it's dripping with dread. The world's been corrupted by the Ember, a radiant, reality-warping force that transforms everything it touches. You're informed through a tense post-mission debrief, and suddenly you're in these haunting zones filled with anomalies, monsters, and unfathomable danger. Oh, and that line? What if you are the monster? Yeah, that sticks. Visually, Unreal Engine 5 slays. Ember zones warp reality itself. Static buildings twisted by luminous energy, rooms that feel bigger inside, walls that ripple. The ambiance hits like a hallucination. Smoke, shadows, flickers, and it all cements that unsettling horror.
Routine is gaming's most patient long burner. Designed by Lunar Software and published by Raw Fury, this survival horror epic plunks you onto a silent moon base straight out of 80s sci-fi nightmares, all dripping in analog charm and supernatural dread. Gameplay here isn't about blasting away enemies. You roam through abandoned malls, decaying crew quarters, and console rooms, powered only by flickering CRT screens. Your lifeline? The Cosmonaut Assistance Tool, CAT. An old-school Swiss Army knife for terminals, environmental puzzles, and, if things get desperate, a last-resort stun device. Stealth and silence are your ammo. Permadeath looms large and you don't respawn. You gotta observe, survive, and let the tension sink in. Atmospherically, it's dripping with dread. No HUD, full-body awareness, and diegetic audio merge to make the emptiness feel alive. Flickering lights, damaged panels, and shadows that seem to breathe, they don't just look haunted, they feel haunted. The development story is real slow burn material. First announced in 2012 with a 2013 window, delayed again in 2017, vanished, then resurfaced in 2022. Now in 2025, the team says the finish line is in sight, but no firm date yet. It's still slated for PC, Xbox, and Game Pass in late 2025. John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. This one's basically an adrenaline-fueled homage to 80s action horror. And yeah, it leans hard into that vibe. You and up to 3 friends suit up as misfit toxic commandos, thrown into this post-apocalyptic wasteland to take down the Sludge God. It's part buddy movie, part horde FPS, and 100% over-the-top fun. Gameplay flips the co-op script. You can roll, solo, or team up, switching paces between frenzied looter-shooter combat and off-road vehicular mayhem through slime-infested terrain. You've got guns, grenades, special powers, and even freaking katanas. And everything is powered by Saber's Swarm engine, meaning you'll face wave after wave of mutated monstrosities and massive bosses that just keep coming. Visually, it looks bonkers, inspired by Carpenter's distinct mood and Unreal-level chaos. Think slime-covered ruins, toxic skies, and explosions that practically drip VHS aesthetics. It's the apocalypse, but with style. This is being built by Saber Interactive, working again with Focus Entertainment, and it servers up full crossplay between PC and consoles. After teasing us in 2023, the game's finally got a release window, early 2026. No More Light drops you into a world on the brink. Earth's been ravaged by an alien insectoid invasion, and nearly all of humanity is gone. You're one of the last survivors in this mess, trying to cling to hope in a post-apocalyptic Colorado. But it gets wild. You're not just fighting to stay alive, you're also uncovering the secrets of this invasion while struggling to maintain your humanity in the face of transformation. This isn't your usual shooter. It's a narrative-heavy survival game with some serious twists. You've got Parasite Control, a creepy mechanic that turns enemies into your puppets. Then there's Metamorphosis. The alien biomass starts taking over your body, giving you insane powers, but also blurring the line between man and monster. Oh, and weather isn't just background, it's a weapon. You can manipulate harp-like systems to create storms, fog, or chaos on the battlefield, and everything reacts in real time. It's got that rugged, decayed atmosphere look, ruined landscapes, dusty ruins, and alien goop everywhere. It feels raw, oppressive, and just real. Every shadow makes you pause, every storm makes survival feel earned. Bloodlines 2, so this one's picking up that cult favorite vampire RPG vibe and cranking it up with modern systems. You're thrown into Seattle's dark underworld where vampire clans are locked in this brutal power struggle. What makes it interesting is the choice-driven gameplay, like every dialogue and action can shift alliances or piss off the wrong people, which, yeah, has consequences. Combat isn't just hack and slash either. It's a mix of melee, ranged, and those supernatural vampire abilities. Think fast, predatory moves with a big focus on verticality and using the environment. And the role-playing side, still deep. You pick your clan, each with unique powers, weaknesses, and the whole political mess that comes with it. Visually, it's dark and moody, leaning into neon-soaked alleys and shadowy interiors that really sell the modern Gothic vibe. Oh, and there's this hunger mechanic that forces you to feed, but, doing it in public? Not exactly smart unless you want to start chaos. This isn't just another vampire game. It's a narrative-heavy experience where choices actually matter, and honestly, fans have been waiting years for it. If they pull this off, it could be one of the most immersive RPGs in the genre.
It brought you here, my fire. My fire.
Jurassic Park Survival is all about survival horror meets stealth action. You're Dr. Maya Joshi, an InGen scientist stranded on Isla Nublar the day after the events of the original film. You're not packing heat. This is about using your brain, distraction tactics, and stealth to avoid iconic predators like T-Rex, velociraptors, and Dilophosaurs. Ammo's scarce, environments are dynamic. Story kicks off right after that unforgettable meltdown from Jurassic Park, plunging you into a fresh survival chapter that fans have wanted. You're not just surviving, you're piecing together a never-before-seen narrative through tense encounters and hauntingly familiar landmarks. Every discovery, every escape, builds the adventure as you navigate life and death dynamics across the park. Visually, this feels like stepping into the movie itself. We're talking fully realized Isla Nublar. From the towering park gates to the visitor center and even functional ruins like the radio tower bunker from Fallen Kingdom. It's authentically weathered yet alive. And the reactive AI makes every dinosaur encounter pulse with realism. All wrapped in a cinematic atmosphere. Developed by Saber Interactive in partnership with Universal, this single-player experience drops on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X like S. In A.I.L.A, you're not just playing a horror game, you are the horror game. You step into the shoes of Samuel, a game tester tasked with trialing a cutting-edge AI-crafted simulation. Every step, puzzle, and blood-soaked ritual is tailored to jar your frame of reference, You're solving grotesque puzzles, like using body parts as biometric keys, running from a cult, facing undead knights, and navigating hallucinations where reality flickers between virtual and real. It's survival horror, psychological dread, and action all collapsing into one. The setting is 2035 near future, where technology meets your worst nightmares. That A.I.A.I.L.A itself is sentient and hungry for your fear, turning your gameplay into a personal descent. As you give feedback and share your thoughts, it learns, adapts, and twists the world around you. That line between virtual test and true-life terror, yeah, it dissolves fast. Powered by Unreal Engine 5 with lumen lighting and metahuman detail, the game is photorealistic and unnerving. Every environment, from flickering rooms to surreal landscapes, feels both too vivid and unsettling. Players who've tried the demo said it ran smooth at 60 FPS and hits you with PT-level dread. No cheap scares, just constant creeping unease.
Hello, Samuel. My name is A.I.L.A.
Displacement throws you into a frozen nightmare at a remote polar research station. You're a psychologist arriving to investigate disturbing behavior among the crew, only to find everyone slipping into madness. As your sanity frays, you face a choice: resist comfort or embrace your inner predator. Madness doesn't just warp your mind, it reshapes the game itself. This is survival horror with savage momentum. You'll rely on a brutal combat system using everything at hand: fire, ice, 20 distinct melee weapons from sledgehammers to blades, and improvised tools. Enemies, cultist monsters, will come at you in blood-soaked frenzy. The environment is your ally. Flip tables, throw foes off ledges, smash objects into makeshift weapons. Oh, and there's a temperature mechanic. You can freeze locks, shatter walls, or ignite traps with a device that alters heat in real time. No HUD, minimal distractions, just raw immersion. Expect flickering lights, icy mist, and harsh lighting that contrast warmth with creeping dread. The art and atmosphere channel Cold War isolation and psychological collapse, delivering a haunting ride from the first step. Animal Use Protocol is like one of the weirdest horror setups I've seen in a while. You're not some soldier or scientist, you're Pen, this super intelligent chimp, right? And you're stuck in a lab where everything's gone seriously wrong. The whole deal is you're trying to break out, but it's not just running through vents or whatever. You've got this gravity manipulation gadget and you're teaming up with a rat named Trip. Yeah, a rat. To outsmart these experiments that, should not exist. The vibe, it's straight up survival horror, but with this stealth twist where, honestly, every move feels risky. You're crawling through Anchorage Station, flickering lights, busted equipment, and these shadows that, man, they feel alive. And the messed up part, the other animals that escaped, they're not exactly friendly. Visually, this thing's insane. Unreal Engine 5 makes everything so, detailed you almost feel the cold metal walls closing in on you. And the Brotherhood, the studio behind Stasis, they're going all in on this dystopian nightmare, no joke. It's coming to PC, and yeah, no hard date yet, but the buzz is mid to late 2026. Cronos: The New Dawn carries a dark, retro-futuristic style. The world looks like blocks of Eastern European brutalist architecture, reshaped by age and decay. Every corner is filled with fog, and the structures seem merged with unusual technology. The entire scene gives off a feeling of dread, like something designed straight from disturbing dreams. Now, the story is wild. You play as the Traveler, jumping through time between a broken future and 1980s Poland. Your mission? Extract essences, kind of like souls, from key people before a reality-shredding apocalypse hits. The catch: if you harvest too much, your suit starts glitching with flickers, whispers, and creeping madness. Past and present collide in ways that really mess with your head while you're trying to survive. Yeah, gameplay does not slack. You're armed modestly, pistols, shotguns, flares, and you're up against grotesque creatures called orphans. Here's the chilling twist. If you down an orphan and don't burn its body fast enough, it merges with another, creating something way more dangerous. It's resource scarce, every bullet and flare counts, and that mechanic turns every encounter into a nerve-wracking puzzle. Valor Mortis is pure intensity. Developed by One More Level, the Ghost Runner folks, and popping up via Lyrical Games, this is first-person Souls-like with a twist. You're William, a soldier resurrected amid a plague-ravaged, alternate Napoleonic Europe. Romantic, but dead-on brutal. Now, the setting is unique. It's Napoleonic War meets horror. Imagine plague monsters, twisted from fallen comrades, brutal landscapes of corrupted war zones, and a conspiracy that ties everything together. It's not just action, it's got this haunted, desperate vibe that sticks with you. And the devs? One More Level is stretching their wings here. They've moved from flash speed parkour to deliberate, punishing combat. Something that still demands skill, but feels weightier. They've said they want to respect what they did with Ghost Runner, but evolve it into something darker and more layered. Plus, it already snagged Best Announcement at Gamescom 2025, which, yeah, speaks volumes. Oh, and it's coming in 2026 to PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. Can't wait to see how it all plays out. The setup for Directive 8020 is tense. Humanity's basically dying, and a colony ship named Cassiopeia crashes onto Tau Ceti, that sliver of hope a dozen light years away. But once the crew lands, they discover they're not alone. An alien organism that can mirror its prey is stalking them through the shadows, and they're stuck between saving themselves or risking Earth's future just to survive. Gameplay throws you into that paranoia, it's survival horror with stealth at its core. You play through the eyes of 5 different characters, switching between them as shadows and tension creep in. There are no guns, just stealth, tools like a flashlight that can actually give you away, scanners, and wedge tools to distract or escape. And the big twist? The new Turning Points feature lets you rewind after making a choice, right before it all goes south, though you can opt out and play hardcore if you want that old school payoff. Visually, this one's slick. Built in Unreal Engine 5, the Cassiopeia's hallways are both cinematic and claustrophobic. It's sci-fi horror with a cinematic punch. Think Alien, but with the branching mystery weight of Until Dawn and the Quarry. In The Sinking City 2, you're dropped into a flooded Arkham in the 1920s, armed with era-appropriate pistols, melee weapons, and limited supplies. Combat hits harder this time. Frogwares rebuilt it from scratch to feel tense and tactical. Exploration is semi-open world. You'll stalk through drowned market streets, creaky mansions, and abandoned hospitals, scavenging what you can, juggling inventory, and making every decision count. And if you're feeling smart, you can dive into optional investigation, you can piece together mysteries, unlock lore, and get tangible rewards, but none of it's mandatory if you'd rather just survive. Visually, it's a next-gen Lovecraft dream. Unreal Engine 5 gives life to Arkham's Twilight, global illumination, nanite detailed geometry, even meta-human characters that freak you out with how real they look. Flooded alleys glow eerily, corpses float, and the city feels like it's rotting in slow motion. The story is its own standalone nightmare. New protagonist, new mysteries. You're not tied to the original, which makes it welcoming for newcomers. The floods driven most folks mad are gone, but some remain, and their motives? Definitely messed up. Cults, cosmic beings, twisted survival. That's your new normal. So in Luto, you're not dodging zombies, you're freaking fighting your own mind. You're stuck in this loop within your house, trying desperately to get out. Every attempt makes things stranger. Rooms shift, furniture moves, and audio glitches everywhere. It's puzzle and atmospheric horror wrapped up into a tight loop. No combat, no guns, just survival through memory and perception. You play as Sam, someone haunted by grief and trauma. He wakes up in his old home, fragments of his life strewn around on post-its and half-packed boxes. He can't escape. Every exit attempt throws him back into that cracked bathroom, staring into a mirror where he doesn't exist. It's grief, anxiety, depression, and those shadows creeping through the halls, probably not what they seem. The world of Luto feels personal and uncanny. Dim hallways, floating objects, ghostly figures that may or may not be in your head. Some corridors look rustic, with faded family photos or a doll in the corner, like the Canary Islands-inspired tiles or cultural Easter eggs that anchor the surreal in reality. Resident Evil Requiem takes us back to the ruins of Raccoon City. Yeah, that Raccoon City. 30 years after the missile strike wiped it off the map. You're playing as Grace Ashcroft, an introverted FBI analyst with a personal stake. Her mother died 8 years ago at the place she's now investigating, Wrenwood Hotel. No Leon Kennedy, no action hero swagger, just a terrified but determined woman trying to survive in this nightmare version of the city. What's cool is you can switch on the fly between first-person and third-person views, depending on whether you want that close-up, jump-scare tension, or a safer tactical angle. There's this relentless monster, think Mr. X meets Lady Dimitrescu, that can stalk you through walls. Your tools? A lighter that lights your way but also lights you up, glass bottles you can throw to distract enemies, stealth, and pacing that makes every unnerved breath count. Capcom is flexing the RE engine again, now with path-traced lighting, ray-traced shadows, and insane detail. Grace shows fear, sweat streaks, hair moving real-time based on a real wig, and skin texture that, well, basically sets a new standard in horror visuals. Silent Hill F. This is the scary flick we've been waiting for. Set in the 1960s, but not in America. Instead, it's a remote Japanese mountain town called Ebisugaoka. You're playing as Hinako Shimizu, a high school girl who wakes up to find her hometown swallowed by a fog that warps everything familiar into something horribly surreal. Gameplay leans into psychological horror with a dash of visceral action. You'll confront grotesque creatures, solve emotionally charged puzzles, and wield melee weapons like pipes and spears. Combat is grounded. There's parrying, stamina-based dodging, but the team calls it more horror RPG than Souls-like, and multiple endings await, making each choice feel weighty. Visually and thematically, this is Silent Hill like you've never seen. Unreal Engine 5 brings Ebisugaoka's fog-filled streets and supernatural otherworld to life, soaked in a hauntingly beautiful Japanese aesthetic. Composer Akira Yamaoka returns, alongside a team including Ryukishi07, writer, and artist Kara, infusing the game with cultural depth and psychological nuance. As for the launch, it's coming September 25th, 2025 on PS5, Xbox Series X/S, and PC, Steam, Epic, Windows. Active Matter. This one's not your usual shooter. You're an operative stuck in a time loop, yanked back every time you die. You suit up, choose your kit, and dive into these quantum, unstable zones loaded with the most dangerous substance in the multiverse. Active Matter. It bends space and time, warps reality, and turns every mission into a mind-bending gamble. Gameplay is wild. It's extraction-style PvPvE mayhem, go solo or roll with a squad into zones that might collapse at any moment. You're not just fighting other players, you're battling physics-breaking anomalies and creatures twisted by active matter. Score loot fast and extract, or get stuck in a time-fractured puddle. Story-wise, it's looped horror. Each death pulls you back to the start, so you're stuck reliving the mission, over and over and over. That active matter, it's unpredictable. Visuals, this game drops you into zones that feel like SCP nightmares. Unreal Engine 5 brings gravity glitches, warped geometry, and heavy atmosphere. Think Soviet-era labs twisted by time ripples.
Industria 2 leans hard into slow-burning, narrative-driven FPS vibes, but with some spooky body horror and immersive sim flair. You're solving puzzles, scavenging, crafting, and interacting with the world through physics-based tools and a diegetic inventory that keeps everything grounded in the game space. No menus breaking the mood. Weapons are limited but meaningful. You can upgrade 5 of them with silencer mods, bigger mags, or special abilities. And yes, when robots get tore apart, you're going to see oil and dismemberment up close. It's brutal, strategic, and feels like puzzle meets survival at every corner. It's built in Unreal Engine 5 with lumen lighting, and damn, it shows. The settings are a mix of boreal decay and alien industrial machinery. Everything's textured with grime, glowing elements, and those unsettling mechanical silhouettes in the mist. Atmosphere is king here. The tale picks right up where the first game left off. Nora's still stuck in that twisted parallel dimension, but just as she's about to escape, she's yanked back into the core of A.I.L.A, the AI horror she helped create.